Welcome to the world of Rouge. I am Oliwia Rouge and Shredy is here with me. Last week's episode was amazing for me. I was really enjoying this whole conversation and the question that we got, and I was rethinking it myself also. So when I was seeing the engagement from the audience, it made me very happy. Yeah. For the start of the new year, it was perfect to talk about this topic.
Yeah. I love the engagement in general. So on YouTube, on your OnlyFans, on Patreon, on social media, and also I'm happy that also we can announce this new idea that we wanted to make about dating between men and women, and what's the plan?
Yeah. So we are gonna talk about all the challenges that can come into relationships between men and women, but also all the beautiful energy that is created. Yeah.
So the idea is that we're going to make a new program that is going to be also on YouTube and also on the other places. We'll see how it will develop. And it's going to talk about relationships, men, women. I mean, there's a lot of nice questions that people also asked in this context. And it's going to be a different format than what we're having here. So I'm looking forward to it. And I hope people will also join and will get inspired by it.
Yes, I'm also very excited to do it. It's a beautiful idea and I'm happy that we're gonna get to it. Also, as you said, there are so many questions that people have, and now we can really get into it deeper and to reflect on it in a different way. So it's gonna be super excited. So also if people have questions, we are so open to answer them.
Yeah. So anybody who has questions in the context of relationships, you can write it in the comments on social media, anywhere, and we will integrate those questions in our date, and we can talk about them. And there's a lot of inspiration because you have your background and your experiences with men and etc. And I also have my own history, and we can get a lot of information out of that.
It makes me very excited to share my experience and to learn something myself too.
Yes.
So for today, we also have 2 questions, from the audience. And I am so excited to hear your opinion on one of those questions, because it's a topic that it's discussed a lot in general, everywhere. And I would like to know your insight about it. So the first question is, please talk about karma. So I think this word, everyone heard it. And I think everyone talked about it or had thoughts about it, Me, myself, for sure. And I have feelings that are so torn apart when it comes to this topic. Because sometimes when something happens to me, I think I hope for good karma. I hope that I'm going through something and it's gonna have a good output. Or when someone did something that I didn't like, for example, I was also hoping, karma will hit this person. And at some point, because I not only thought it myself, but also heard it from so many people, especially when talking about relationships in the context of someone slept with someone else even though they were in a relationship, or fell in love with someone else, or kissed someone else. And I heard so many times karma will get this person. She destroyed the relationship and he left his wife and they split it, and this is karma that came after them, So at some point I was I don't know if I want to think of karma in this terms, because this looked for me like such a black and white way of thinking. It takes out of this complexity. So I try not to go into karma at all, because also there is different cultures have different definitions of it, right? So I don't have so much knowledge about it to use this term. I don't want to take it out of something that's maybe rooted very, very deep and use it only for my ego, for example. So that's why I'm very excited what you're gonna say about it.
This is a big subject, so maybe we can have the whole episode about this subject. And for the next time, we take the second question because this is serious. I mean, we cannot talk about karma just in.
Okay. Yes, I'm very open.
Yeah. What is what do you? I know that you said that karma for you is people are going to get this and that, but what else? What kind of belief system is behind what you think? Who told you that karma is like this?
To be honest, I read it a lot on the internet, in the comments, for example, on social media, or I heard it from like relatives or people that I know, like some from everyday life, I would say. I never really read documents or watched documents or read a book about it. I know that there is, I think, in Buddhism, they talk about this karma when being reborn. This is a way of karma. But, now that I'm saying it even, I lose all of my security how to tell my opinion because I know that I don't know. Yeah. So my knowledge background is very little. But still, I heard so much people using this term. Yeah. What is your knowledge about it?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If we're going to talk now about themes like reincarnation, and life and death and stuff like this, and we will leave the reasonable debate, and we now talk about spirituality in the context of places no one can measure, no one can prove, and it stays in the context of just opinion or beliefs. So I prefer not to go into those places because what I'm looking for is really to inspire from a point of view that makes sense. So everyone would hear us, would understand that we are talking about is not spirituality in the context of a place where we can hide intentions and hide actions and hide them and claim things that cannot be proved, but to talk about things that everyone can hear it and say, yeah, this makes sense. So those things. So some people talk about this kind of if you behave in a bad way in this life, so in the next life you're going to be born like this and that, and this is karma. And you're going to be born, if you're rich and you don't use the money well, in this next life you're going to be born poor and you're going to be punished for it. I will not talk about that because no one can prove that and nobody can invalidate or validate, and so it's senseless. But what I can talk about in the context of karma is the aspect of cause and effect. Like it's physics. Everyone can understand that in real life, in their life. You behave in a certain way, you get the result that is in line with your actions.
Yeah.
And on all levels. And for me, there are three things that can define behavior, which is the intention, the knowledge, and the action. Maybe we talked about it a lot in the past. We started talking about
yes.
it. Yeah. If those three are not in line with each other, then someone will not achieve the wanted karma or the wanted results or the wanted effect. But the idea so he will not generate the right cause to attract the right effect. So for me, it is not about spirituality, it's about physics. And we know that every action has a resonance. Everything that we do, it will generate a response. There is no such thing that someone does something and it just goes with no, just like this.
I'm just thinking about when you're saying the word response, the word responsibility.
Yeah.
And also what comes up to my mind is like awareness versus ignorance.
Yeah. If someone is aware of the cause and effect, then I would choose my causes carefully. And if I know in order for me to cause something consciously, of course people react unconsciously or subconsciously and they like more reactive and they are not. And that's why people live in bad karma many times. Of course, they can blame this and can blame that, and they want to blame this and they want to blame that. But if someone is asking me, I would ask them, what was your intention? What did you do? Do you have the relevant knowledge in order to connect and in order to... So there is a lot of things that people can do in order to create the good karma or the outcome that they wish. But there is work that has to be done because many people stand in their own way.
Yeah, for sure. First step, like to control your emotions. We are so much emotions driven. I'm angry, so I let out my anger because in this moment I feel like it's the right thing to do. We talked about it too, like there's for sure a difference to be made. It doesn't mean that you suppress your anger and you don't give it like, you don't show it at all, but there's like situations where you are aware what is happening and you show like the right anger, right emotion based on a situation. And there's like this anger that is only driving you and you are not aware of the situation outside at all. So that's what I mean, the second one. Or you feel like sad, or you feel whatever emotion you have, and you just go after it, not thinking about where are you right now, in what situation, and what's gonna cause it, which output it's gonna have on you and on others, right? Yeah. So this is like a big step, like to accomplish, to have your emotions, like to be aware what you're feeling and act accordingly to it.
Yeah, but this is very advanced. This in order to be able to control your emotions, this is advanced. Some people are already on the level of not aligning their intentions with the actions. The people are lying to themselves on things that they see, but they're willing to deny the truth just to live in harmony with someone who's charismatic or some group dynamics, so they kind of they lie in the eyes just in order to live in harmony with the toxic dynamics, and then they wonder. Of course, in the beginning, they would not experience that karma immediately. They have it immediately, but they're not aware of it. It hits immediately, but they're not aware of it. Sometimes they need time in order to be aware of what just happened. Then it will be too late. Many times it's too late. So it is, to control your emotions, it is not an easy task. And also, some people who are angry, for example, some people are angry, they are not honest about their anger. It's not coming from an intention that justifies that kind of anger. And some people who are angry out of fear and out of survival impulses. So kind of in certain places, anger might be the right emotional state. But this is a message to me into which action should I convert that emotional state? To an action that is in line with my intention. But again, I'm talking about intention because most people already fall on the level of intention before they even get to the level of controlling their emotions. And
so intention, what do I want? What do I want to achieve?
What do I want to achieve? And it also comes to the level of judgment. To see the difference between the things. Like, for example, if you have something that is white, and I see that it's white, so it is white. And then someone in group dynamics tells me, say that it's black. If it's white, I will not be your friend. So I say, guys, no, it's black, and I start to lie. I'm here betraying my own vision. Now here, I'm not just now generalizing that this is the case in all cases. Sometimes if somebody is in existential threat or in a survival state, if he's conscious why he's doing what he's doing, then there is something else, might be something else. But in general, Many people betray their own vision and their intentions when it's not necessary, even just for the sake of emotional privilege, or just for the sake of Ainilona, of a whim, or acceptance, or so they betray the truth for that.
Yes, you are so right what you're saying. I did it so much in the past. It's crazy. Like, I felt it in me. For example, I was with a person or dealing with people that were not treating me nicely. And when I tried to give like my opinion to them, they kind of tried to pull me down, and tell me that I have not the right to tell them anything because I'm not experienced enough whatsoever. And I knew I have the knowledge. I knew that I know. But instead of marking meine Grenze, I always forget this word in English.
My boundaries,
and feedbacking them that they cannot treat me this way, I was always finding excuses to justify their rude behavior towards me. So I was giving them even more power and making this way myself smaller, and I could never achieve a goal of, for example, also being respected or coming further in certain things.
Yeah, and that's why also you lived in that state of being, in that karma, in that effect. But the moment you changed fundamentally your intentions and you aligned it and you started to act upon this intention and you were aware of your need of that specific kind of knowledge in order to change that. Because if your intention is good and you're acting upon it, but you don't have the knowledge, so you'll also keep on running around your tail. You'll keep on chasing your tail. So kind of, when it comes to the knowledge, it is, you cannot underestimate that. So it's not enough to have good intentions and to act upon those good intentions. It's like kind of, like think about that there are three people leading one ship. One is the intention, one is the knowledge, one is the action. The action is the one who's leading the ship. The intention is the one who knows where they should go, and the knowledge knows how to go there. Mm-hmm. If they are not friends and they are not communicating with each other, the ship will never lead to the destination. It will always go wrong. Make the math like kind of an interaction, and you will see. So this is something that, for me, way more deep than talking about reincarnation, about life and death, and because also most people, and also karma is not kind of whoosh, the end of the world, because it's also proportionate, verhältnismäßig, like proportionate to the cause. So you will not get more outcome or less outcome than the cause. And because most people think about it in the, when people are not conscious enough, they think about it in the terms of punishment and reward. It's punishment, it's a reward.
Exactly how I was seeing karma.
Yeah. But this is exactly what how you train animals. Punishment and reward. What is nice, what is not nice. And based on that, you can tell them to the dog, don't pee here. You snap with the newspaper or the piece of paper, whatever. And of course, you give them a treat when they do something nice. This is how people who are not very conscious perceive karma. So that's why they go to a certain religious places, or they believe systems about hell and heaven and all those things, because they think this is punishment and reward issue. But the cause and effect is way more complex than punishment and reward.
Again, I'm thinking about the word awareness. You have to be aware to see this in the details of everyday's behavior, of everyday's actions.
Yeah.
And as you say, like, we are not able a lot of times to see it, but in the moment it happens. But in the long run, after long of repetitions with the same behavior or same mistake, then we get it. It's, for example, like with health issues, right? Someone who is smoking and they are smoking and every day then telling themselves, it's maybe fine, or the addiction is stronger whatsoever. And then in the long run, they get like really serious health issues and it hits them. bam, now I have like cancer or other Krankheiten. And there's like a kind of a shock, even though they kind of subconsciously knew that it might come in the long run. And I could also see it in my old workplaces, you know, how people just ignore certain signals and they made it fit to their ego just to feel good with themselves. And when the outcome in the long run was negative, even they downplayed it. So the refuse of really trying to see was like so huge. And also the group dynamics played a huge role in it. For example, you had a group and someone was having 2 tasks. One task was to lead a group and to bring them to their goal. And the other task was to help with the bosses to keep the whole system running. So they had like 2 huge tasks and they couldn't handle to do both of them good. So they kind of decided to help the boss to keep the whole system running. And they didn't do the job well to lead the group to their goal. And everyone could feel it, that the group was like falling apart and was causing problems. And instead of like the bosses, like giving them the feedback, okay, maybe this is too much and you are overwhelmed by this amount of tasks that you have to do, they were telling this person that this is the problem of the group. The group is problematic and not the leader. Because otherwise they would criticize themselves that they overwhelmed the person with those 2 big tasks. And when I saw this, I was amazed, you know, how people can ignore like such, for me, obvious things.
Yeah, I mean, this is everywhere, in work, in business, in life, in families, in societies, in any group dynamics. People are living in the outcome of their cause, their actions. Some people might be privileged for the short run. They think, okay, we are now protected, we are in a good place, let's just live it like this, but and they succeed to scapegoat someone who's also not divorced, who's like kind of, but with the long run, they need to live in that outcome. All of them need to live in that outcome. But someone who's conscious, and most people will not see the holistic. It is not a vision that is attainable to normal human beings. To see the complexity of things, what leads to where and what leads to where and what causes what, and what is the butterfly effect and what is this broad. Most people to see what to give like the carrot in front of their nose. That's it. Pro Stunde. Like one dimension. So it is difficult for people to explain. So it's difficult to explain the concept of karma because it's holistic. Like some people would say, I want a lot of money. And they think it's just having a lot of money. And people invest a lot of time working in a difficult situations. And they have the money that they want. They got what they wanted. The actions that they made and the cause got the effect that they want. But they lost their health. So what did you do actually? Because the karma is holistic. You cannot ignore this aspect from that aspect. Or you have a good health and you have the money, but then you lost your relationship with your beloved ones because you didn't have time to spend with them. What does it help? So kind of, okay, this is the karma. The money, he got it. This is what he wanted, he got it. So it's not about punishment and reward because it can be things on so many levels at the same time. And you cannot compare and you cannot get jealous of people and you cannot try to imitate somebody because everyone has its own holistic cause, actions, knowledge, intentions, and the holistic outcome. And people cannot see the holistic, the complexities. So they judge based on superficial observations. It is.
Yeah, because maybe they don't have the capacity to absorb all of this, right? Or they don't invest enough time to look deeper because it's like gaining skills. It's not so easy, right? You have to invest time and energy and will to want to understand it, no?
Intention. You need to invest intention. You know what is intention? Not I have intention. It brings the whole existence with the intention, aligning it with the emotional state that moves into action. This is the whole emotional dedication, and this is intention. It is not kind of, I want it, I have the intention to make it, but I didn't make it because I couldn't. I wanted to come on time, but my intention was to come on time, but I didn't come on time. This is not your intention. If your intention to come on time, you will move mountains in order to come on time. So many people misunderstand the intention. They think it's just kind of an intention.
So we not only misunderstand and take out of context the word karma, but also like already the other definitions of intention and knowledge and action.
Yeah, and knowledge. And there is knowledge that is not leading to any. There's not the knowledge that I'm talking about. There's some kind of quasi-knowledge or kind of people that are quoting or people that are kind of speaking superficial concepts. This is not the knowledge that I'm talking about. Knowledge that is based on vision, that is based on observation, that is based on a genuine intention to understand what's going on, to learn and to transform. That is a kind of knowledge. Not a knowledge, I'm something like that. And
theoretical knowledge that we have, like when we go to study some subject, for example, and we have all the theory, and then we go to the working life and we have to learn the whole profession like new, because we cannot transfer anything from the theory into the praxis.
Into action. This is also the connection, the link between knowledge and action. If the knowledge, you cannot act upon it, you don't have the knowledge. If the knowledge is only quotes and writing things, but you cannot act upon it, then there is no link between the knowledge and the action. Then you will not get the karma that you want or the outcome that you want.
Yeah, but I mean, some people manage in the society to scam, right? To scam their way.
Yeah, but you need to see the holistic karma. It's not that they achieved their goal. They achieved something superficial. On the surface, it looks like that they succeeded to scam someone. But you need to look at the karma holistically, on the timeline.
Mm-hmm. Like, but now I think, wow, for me, it already, just talking about it feels like so complex, you know? Because then it's like, it's the health, it's the relationships, it's like the money, it's like as the spiritual, it's like so many aspects coming to it, creating the one holistic life.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When someone doesn't have the genuine intention, they can make compromises. They want to understand reality without investing the right emotional state in order to absorb the relevant information. They see, they hear, and they make quick judgment based on, first of all, they will not invest the amount of attention in order to absorb the details. On the other hand, many people have their ego and their pride and their jealousy on a higher priority than understanding reality.
Exactly.
So they will always filter what they see and what they perceive from the point of view of what complements their egos.
Exactly. So when you said like the word like genuine intention, the first thing that came into my mind was ego. But most people don't, I think they're not even aware that the ego is standing in the way. And we already talked about it too. Like this ego, this false ego of having this pride, you know, and this false stolz and everything. I think that pride and stolz are the same words, but you know what I mean. Like, so this is already also a chunk to be aware of and to overcome this. Like this, for sure, this false ego, not the survival ego.
Yeah. I mean...
to have this genuine intention.
Yeah. But this is the journey of everyone. Like everyone has his own journey to overcome his or her own challenges, emotional, and some people are born very privileged and very comfortable. Oh. It's not that they are living in a good karma. You have someone like Buddha who left the palace because he hated life. He was a prince. He must have left the palace in order to see the reference. And then he has this awakening. So it's not that you are born into a rich family with everything is around and you're happy. It means that you are in a good karma. Some people, this is their hell. When people have no challenges, when people have no meaningful life, everything is there. Everything that they want, any car, they have. What's the meaning of life? You know, what kind of black hole they are living in? Is also part of their karma.
I read it so much, and I saw it so much. Also, as on social media, like from certain people, pop stars or like sons of like famous people recently, just how they say that on the outside, it looks like I have everything and I achieved everything, but on the inside, like there was like so much depression and anxiety. Because there was lack of authenticity, a lack of real connection, and a lack of deciding freely. Or they said it was too much control, too much everything, pressed in something just to appeal perfect to others. Like this golden cage, you would say, maybe. So there's also a lack of something, a big lack.
Yeah. They chose this golden cage. They chose it. And it's also everyone has a free choice, But not you need to choose what you want. Because what you want, you're going to get it.
But free choice, again, I think about this word awareness. Like I am in a phase of my life where every day more I got aware that I have the free choice over my life and that I can create the life that I want. For sure, I need to generate energy and the vision and put like a lot of focus into it. But I live in a place like where I can a lot of things can come into fruition that I want to achieve. But now I'm getting like aware of it. Before that, I didn't know. And I was like I was imprisoning myself. Yeah. And I think many people share this. I would do this over generalization. I don't know. I don't have the statistics or anything, but for what I feel and I sense.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Many people have to live in pain until they make a choice, I don't want it anymore. As long as they're not making the choice and they're not aware of it, or they will stay there. And we cannot save anyone who wants to live in pain. Because when we try, they will tell us, no, I'm not. Everything's fine. Okay, stay there.
Oh my God, yes.
Until they stop gaslighting. That's why their intentions is not in place. They gaslight themselves and they try to gaslight even people who try to help them. So their intentions, first of all, this is their responsibility. So we can provide the knowledge, or they can get the knowledge from so many places, but the intention and the will to act and the action is their responsibility. And
for sure. They will need really to want that to change, and that it's the task. It's on them to do this work. Yeah. Yes, this is a beautiful thing to do, because as a person, like I was a person that I was so empathic, but with all this empathy, you can sometimes do harm to yourself. And I would not say like harm to others, but you don't help them with your actions. Because you have these people that are sending this double intentions, right? At the one hand, they're complaining where they are, and they say, I want to change, I don't like the way I am, and I don't like this, I don't like that. And then you try and try and give them like your energy and everything and your attention, because mostly it's about like attention, but they don't act to change anything. And you get drained and you get brought out of balance and you don't achieve your goals and you get frustrated. It's like losing all your color. It's like becoming gray.
And this is their karma as well.
Yeah.
Because they should not give to something when karma is trying to teach somebody something, don't come and take their karma away from them. Because then you have a private business with karma. You will also live in that thing. So that's why they live they choose a certain reality, and they will live in the outcome of that choice. If they want to change, they can pursue the knowledge. But if we are coming to save them without them asking for it, this is violation. They didn't have a permission. So of course they will gaslight us, and of course they will say, no, it's not like that. So I would focus on my karma and let everyone else live in their karma, because if I'm trying to help, sometimes I will put myself into their karma. Why should I? If I'm conscious and visionary. But even if somebody is not conscious and not seeing what this is about, take a deep breath and let people live in their own reality, because no one can save no one. If they want to change, they can ask for help and they can give what they have to give. They have to pay for their change. To pay with action, with efforts, with intention, with dedication, with consistency. Not just sitting like this on the sofa. I want to change, and somebody comes, do this and that, and they get all the emotional supply. They are nurtured for another kilometer they can run, and you are drained.
Yeah. And on a deeper level, it's not beautiful for both of them.
Yeah.
The one that sits maybe on the sofa, in the beginning, it would be like very hard for them to learn how to move, to get into action. But when you finally move, then you live what you're meant to do as a human. You gain all this knowledge and all the skills, and what's hitting you, the insight that you get. This is like such a beautiful feeling. It's so rich to accomplish another level in your life, to overcome your laziness, to overcome your fear, to show braveness. No one can take that away from you. And for the other person that is always overgiving because they learned very quickly to give more action than it's used, it's also beautiful to learn that I am only responsible for my life only, for one body, for one mind, not more. Because no one can take actually in the long run more than they cannot take 2 lives on you. You have one life, you have one body to take care of. This is your task. So that's like taking something very, very heavy out of your shoulders and be able to breathe again. And then joy can go into your body finally. And feeling light.
Yeah. That's a personal choice. This is amazing. If you get to this conclusion and you live according to that, this is an amazing experience. But if somebody, because of I'm seeing this and I'm trying to force it on someone else, this is something that will drain, they will put me in a bad outcome, and it will not help that person because he doesn't have the intention to change. And here, what we get into, it is a group karma. Because that person who's sitting on the sofa and his mom in the kitchen and his sister is in the other room and you are his friend, you want to help him, and his father is there and his girlfriend is there. All of them are engaging in his karma or in her karma. All of them also are not free. They're also in a mess. Their life is a mess until they've developed some sovereignty and some awareness, and they stop interfering in other people's destinies, including making uncomfortable choices.
Mm-hmm. When you're saying this, I think on a group where the energies are always pushing and falling out of balance and trying to hold someone, but then you're lacking and then you're shortly before falling.
Yeah.
Compared to a group where you have every individual is staying as a strong energy, and together you have this harmony of energies because there's power but also space.
Yeah, and also groups who there are some group dynamics who where they thrive upon chaos, about confusion. about not knowing where's the cause and the effect, not knowing what causes this chaos. There's one person who is, let's say, creating so much chaos and poverty and confusion, and so many people are not conscious. They follow that person and they create this group dynamics. And then one person that tries to see some of the truth, and he would be scapegoated, but he's also part of their karma because he accepts to be part of them. And all of them, there's a whole group dynamics full of chaos and full of lack of awareness, where all of them live in a very bad state. So kind of a person who chooses to be part of a group can ask himself or herself, is it worth it? Is this group or this leadership is leading to a good outcome or a bad outcome? Because then, if you are in a group who you are like kind of an empathic and an intelligent person who wants to solve problems, and the group is chaotic and corrupt, they will try, your presence will challenge and will mirror all their corruption. So they try to start to conspire against you. And then they will start to tell you, you're not a team player. You're not collegial. You don't know how to work in a group. It's not that it is not that you don't know how to work in a group. You just don't want to be part of a corrupt system.
Yes.
In the contrary, you are the one who's coming with the solutions and with the inspiration. But you trigger their ego. So if you accept to stay in that environment, you will also live in their collective karma.
Yes. I think the people that are empathic, but also they can see and they don't lie to themselves, they are so brave for telling the truth for what they see.
Yeah, but it requires, again, it's not about telling the truth or not telling the truth. It is a very complex situation. There are, in group dynamics, it's a complex situation. So every group has its own criteria, and we need to know how to act. If someone doesn't want to live in the outcome that he doesn't want or she doesn't want.
Okay, but I am asking myself, because you see something that others cannot see, or they agreed to not want to see it. But how can you then detect if there's no truth? And now I need the clearance about truth or not truth, because I said then there's one person that sees the truth.
Yeah. But again, the truth is not only seeing the truth, we also talked about the knowledge. Mm-hmm. You see the truth. But if I'm seeing what's happening, not only in this water is half empty or half full. This is the truth. But if not only seeing this kind of objective truth, but also to see the holistic, how people would react, who's conspiring with who, what is their intentions are not in line, what are they trying to do now, the whole interaction. Now, if I'm in let's say, in a contract, in a working environment, and I cannot leave. If I'm leaving, then they will sue me and they will take a lot of money from me, or I will not get my benefits, etc., etc. Then my action will be different than if I'm sitting with a group of people that I have no contract. I'm still sitting with them, though I don't. It will not make any problem if I go. If you're living in a relationship with a partner where you have 2 kids and you have buildings and houses and money and bank accounts and things, the interaction dealing with this situation is different than if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend and you don't have all those things. So how I act, in which context, which truth I'm seeing, is relevant to that specific interaction.
It's obvious when you say it this way. Now I understand. So I also think like there's a difficulty with giving advices. Because we are very good in giving advices, but we only know the half of the story, or maybe just like 1% of it. And then we take something like an overall sentence, overall advice, and just put it on every situation. If this and this happened, you need to leave. You have to go. You have to know your worth. It's not like you should not know your worth, but some situations require like more complex solutions.
Yes.
Okay. How are we in time, actually?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so interesting. I love this kind of conversations, It's so rich. I feel like something opens up in me, and I really want to absorb all of this energy and this knowledge about those topics, because then my awareness also gets more, and then I take this home and I think about it and I can adjust it to my life then. So it's a nice learning, and I really appreciate this exchange. So thank you so much for the question. So interesting. And as you said, very huge also. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Shredy. For the next week, we have also a very nice question, which I am excited to talk about and to answer it. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we wish you a lot of fun with it, and see you next week.